What's up everyone and welcome back to the UFC News Hub. Today let's get started with Sean O'Malley reacts to UFC 316 fight. Sean O'Malley has reacted to the official announcement of his highly anticipated rematch at UFC 316. Speaking on the Timbo Sugar Show alongside Tim Welch, O'Malley didn't hold back in sharing his thoughts about the fight and how things are already feeling different in this training camp compared to the first fight. The rematch is official. Sugar Shane vs Merab 2 is happening and I don't think people are going to be too happy about it. Very confident in my skills. Last camp we had some Saint going on, didn't I? I mean, I don't want to sit here and make excuses. We had a great camp. We showed up. I was in shape. We did what we could with what we were able to do. Art said O'Malley. Despite his confidence going into the first fight, O'Malley revealed that he was dealing with serious injuries leading up to it, something he believes affected his performance. My groin kept me up at night because I tore my labrum 10 weeks before the fight, which is what we're at from the fight right now. I tore my groin, my labrum, and I was having serious groin pain, said O'Malley. Now as he prepares for the rematch, O'Malley feels like things are falling into place, and he's expecting to be a completely different fighter this time around. This camp has already been a lot different. Feeling good, so super excited to be able to go out there and take care of business. But dude, if I can just keep this pace up, how we've been able to train these last few weeks all the way up into the fight, I'm gonna be 70% better than I was in that first fight. I'm going to be significantly more mobile, agile, better shape, going to fight at my full potential, said O'Malley. O'Malley's confidence is sky high, and if what he's saying is true, we could be in for a completely different fight this time around. The first matchup had its moments, but O'Malley is determined to prove that he wasn't at his best and that he can put on a much stronger performance now that he's injury-free. With UFC 316 fast approaching, the rematch is set to be one of the most talked about fights in the division, and O'Malley is making it clear. This time, he's coming in at full strength. Before we continue, subscribe and click the bell icon to help support the channel. Justin Gaethje vs Islam Makhachev should be next. The UFC lightweight division is in a state of chaos, with several top contenders vying for a shot at the title. Islam Makhachev sits at the top waiting for his next challenger, while fighters like Ilia Topuria, Charles Oliveira, and Arman Tsarukyan all have their eyes set on the belt. There's also the possibility that Makhachev might move up to challenge for the welterweight title, adding even more uncertainty to the division. With so many potential matchups, it's tough to predict how things will unfold at 155 pounds this year. However, former UFC middleweight champion and analyst Michael Bisping believes that one man should be next in line for the title shot: Justin Gaethje. Bisping recently shared his thoughts on his YouTube channel, making a compelling case for why Gaethje deserves a shot at the lightweight belt over the other contenders. Justin Gaethje hasn't fought Islam Makhachev, so that would be a fresh title fight, Bisping said. Justin Gaethje isn't getting any younger either. I think we'd all sign off on Justin Gaethje versus Islam Makhachev. Justin gets to go in there, right the wrongs from the Khabib Nurmagomedov fight, and finish his career as the UFC lightweight champion of the world. Bisping made a strong argument that Gaethje, who has built a reputation as one of the most exciting fighters in UFC history, has earned this opportunity. I think somebody like Justin Gaethje, who has put on these legendary fights, these epic battles, and just entertained the crowds, I think the man deserves it, he added. With Oliveira and Topuria busy trading shots at each other, and Tsarukyan still trying to cement his claim, Bisping believes that Gaethje may just end up being the logical choice for the next title shot. The idea of Gaethje stepping into the octagon against Makhachev is an electrifying prospect. Fans know that whenever Gaethje fights, they are in for a war. His relentless pressure, devastating leg kicks, and knockout power make him a serious threat to anyone, even a dominant champion like Makhachev. If this fight gets booked, it could be one of the most explosive lightweight title fights in recent memory. Gaethje would have the chance to redeem himself after his loss to Khabib, while Makhachev would be looking to continue his reign and further cement his legacy. Will Gaethje finally achieve his dream of becoming the undisputed UFC lightweight champion, or will Makhachev prove once again why he is considered the best in the division? One thing is for sure, if this fight happens, the fans are in for an absolute spectacle. Tom Aspinall should stop waiting for Jon Jones. Tom Aspinall has been stuck in a waiting game since defending his interim heavyweight title in July. The question now is, should he keep waiting for Jon Jones or take another fight in the meantime? Since that title defense, Aspinall has been holding out hope for a unification bout against the reigning champion, but it's been nothing but silence and uncertainty. Reports suggest that Jon Jones wants a full 6-month training camp before returning, which means even if the fight were finalized today, it wouldn't happen until October. That would leave Aspinall on the sidelines for nearly a year and a half, an incredibly long layoff for a fighter in his prime. Demetrious Johnson, one of the most respected voices in MMA, has a clear stance on this situation. If I was Tom Aspinall, I'd be like, God, dude, I'm not waiting 6 months. Y'all need to get me another fight. But then again, this could be the biggest fight of his career. If he's able to beat Jon Jones, I have mixed feelings on the 6 months. I think that Tom Aspinall should take another fight. I think when you put an athlete who's very young like that on ice, and they don't get that ring time, they don't get that opportunity to go out there and just fight and make the money, it's a little bit different. If I was Tom Aspinall, I'd say, Jon Jones wants 6 months? I'm gonna pass on that fight. I'm gonna fight somebody else. I'll defend the interim heavyweight championship, said Demetrious Johnson. That's an interesting perspective because while fighting Jon Jones is the ultimate dream for any heavyweight, waiting that long can have serious consequences. The longer a fighter stays inactive, the harder it is to stay sharp. Ring rust is real. Momentum is real. Aspinall is in his prime, and sitting out for over a year just for the chance to fight Jones is a gamble. What if Jones gets injured again? What if something changes and the fight never happens? There's always a risk in waiting too long. On the other hand, this is Jon Jones we're talking about. Beating him would cement Aspinall's legacy instantly. That's why this decision is so tough. According to Aspinall himself, his most recent meeting with the UFC was positive, and he feels optimistic about the fight happening. But with Jones asking for 6 months to prepare, the chances of them fighting on the International Fight Week card this summer are looking slim. So what should Aspinall do? Should he hold out for the fight of a lifetime or stay active and defend his interim title? Let us know your thoughts. UFC 317 main card fight leaked by accident. It looks like the UFC 317 main card may have been leaked by accident, and this one is big. A recent video shared by Kai Kara France might have just given away one of the biggest fights of the event. In the video, originally posted by Instagram user Jweb8, Kai is seen going through an intense workout routine, but what really caught people's attention wasn't just his training, it was what he revealed. Kai mentioned that he is 12 weeks out from his next fight. If you do the math, that lines up perfectly with UFC 317, which is set for International Fight Week. And that's not all. He even hinted at having a belt to win, suggesting that this could be a flyweight title fight. Jweb8 fueled the speculation even further with the caption, Hill sprints with UFC flyweight Kai Kara France, 12 weeks out from his upcoming fight as he's about to become UFC flyweight champ. That's a bold statement, and it only adds to the buzz around what could be the biggest fight of Kai's career. Let's not forget that back at UFC 305 last August, Kai knocked out Steve Erceg in spectacular fashion, putting himself right in line for a shot at the flyweight title. Meanwhile, the reigning champion, Alexandre Pantoja, has been looking for an opponent. After beating Kai at UFC 310, Pantoja attempted to call out UFC legend Demetrious Mighty Mouse Johnson in hopes of luring him back for a fight, but that challenge didn't materialize, leaving the division's next move uncertain. Kai Kara France would be the perfect opponent for Pantoja, and now it looks like the UFC might have already booked the fight for UFC 317. If this leak is accurate, and it seems likely given that it's coming straight from Kai himself, Dana White is definitely not going to be happy about this getting out early. If this fight does happen, it's expected to be the co-main event of UFC 317, but that's not all. There are rumors that Islam Makhachev is interested in fighting on the same card, which could make this one of the biggest events of the year, and if the speculation is true, we might even see Jon Jones versus Tom Aspinall as the main event. UFC 317 is shaping up to be a must-watch, and if Kai Kara France really is getting his title shot, fans are in for an electrifying fight. Do you think he has what it takes to dethrone Pantoja and become the new flyweight champion? Let us know in the comments below.